Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Round 7. How you doing? Today we are going over FaZe's defense. And they are 20 million TCP operating in Gold 2. And the theme of today's video is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we've got a couple of options that seem a little smaller, a little more unusual than normal. But with FaZe's defense, we're finding that most of this is going to stay. We're going to tinker a little bit today to try and maximize some of the value like we always do. And I'll talk to you guys about variations that you may want to use. But for the most part, FaZe is actually going to be keeping this same defense with just the small adjustments. So first off, in room 1, we have the Extreme with Dormammu. This is kind of a crowd favorite right here. Forge is a raider that keeps him from being ability blocked, as is Nightcrawler. You don't want them being controlled. Make sure they're raiders. FaZe went with Skirmisher on Dormammu and Spot. That's going to apply ability block to anybody they hit. They have some AoEs, so that's great. And if Dormammu gets ability blocked, it's not a big deal because he gets 80% turn meter when he gets ability blocked, and so he'll be shrugging it off pretty fast. He'll just do a basic and get right back at it. So this is good. I would like to see investment put into this team. The Extreme team is a great raid team. We're going to need to build them bigger for higher end raids. So Nightcrawler is the primary focus. Forge is another really good one to start investing in. And then it wouldn't hurt us to put these up to blue 3 ISO. As the game progresses, we're finding more and more that we're hot swapping ISOs like crazy. This is exactly what Scopely wanted for us to do, is to be picking 2 and 3 different ISO classes for every character. That's kind of the state of the game. So be prepared to, if you're gonna go in the blue, you're probably gonna go at least blue 3 on 2 different choice ISOs for all the characters that you build as you start playing the game. All in all, this is really well done. I'm gonna give it an A. It needs some investment, but right now it's going pretty well. In 2, we have Pegasus. Pegasus is a good team. The only thing that we're replacing Pegasus with is Extreme hybrids are kind of the hot thing to do, but our roster is too small for that. You really need to have a big Extreme, and so Pegasus is what we're gonna do, but we do want a placement change here. We're gonna move Kestrel next to Iron Man, because when Iron Man taunts, you want her adjacent to him so she can tank some of the hits. She's biggest by far in here. She's 3 times bigger than anybody else. And so we want her next to Tony so that she takes the splash damage. I like the ISOs, and other than that placement, it's really good. It's another team that can use some investment, right? It's another high-end raid team. They're valuable in War and Crucible. You could do well to invest in here. It's going to be Rescue is going to be the next character to invest in. That way she stays alive in raids. She's harder to kill in Crucible and War, making the team stay alive and work well. So that's the next character to start investing in. A- for this team, just a little tweak right there. And number 3, we have the Unlimited team with Gambit and Rogue in it. And what we want to do to spice this one up is we're going to drop Phantom X and Sunfire, and we're going to replace them with Noir and Quicksilver. When Noir goes first, and he almost always will go first, he's going to take a turn, and in Quicksilver's kit, when an ally takes a turn, he gets a random chance at a positive effect, or a chance at a random positive effect, I should say. If he gets offense up, he's going to start assisting people. If he gets speed up, he's going to get going, screw up the turn order for anything that comes into this. So it's one of those Noir RNG kind of tricks that we're doing with the Quicksilver Noir in here, but it's going to be way better than Phantom X and Fire Chicken that barely do anything but stand there and look silly with their ridiculous costumes. So let's change that. When we get that placement, it's going to be Rogue, Dazzler, Gambit, Noir, and then Quicksilver. Something like that. It's Quicksilver, Gambit, and Rogue are your 3 threats, and we want them in the front row. We want Noir in the back because he's going to either die easily or go into stealth, stopping chains from happening, and then Dazzler's unimportant. If she dies, it's gap placement there as well. So another team that can be invested in, although I would only focus on Gambit and Rogue, as the other 3 members are over the hill and probably less useful, except for those of you who are trying to get APOC. And by the way, FaZe already has their big boy APOC, just recently got that. So this is kind of blah. It's pretty blasé. And so we're going to spice it up. We're going to go from a B to an A with that change up. So It was a good attempt. I do like the ISO settings on this. It's fine. The aggroed room, of course, allowing for the assists from offense up. So kind of a nice room to be putting in characters that can get offense up on themselves more often. Over here in room 4, the unstable energy room, where Doom starts with his ultimate ready to rock, is the Darkhold team. What we want to do with this is a placement change. Agatha calls an assist on her basic, and you want that to be MLF. MLF has a percentage health steal on her basic. It's pretty powerful. I think she cleanses or clears or flips or steals positive effects as well. Anyway, we're gonna go Agatha, then MLF, then Doom, then Doctor Strange, Heartless, and then we're gonna go to the monk there with the bald head. I can't remember his name. We can put Doom adjacent to Wong if we want. It really depends. Watch your playbacks. Judge your Doom. Is your Doom able to get to their special and explode? Are they getting ability blocked? Are they never getting pushed? Are they getting killed? What's happening with your Doom? If your Doom is weak sauce, let's put him in the middle so that when Wong is taunting, Doom's not getting any splash damage. If your Doom is really chunky and can take the hits, let's get Doctor Strange away from Wong so that Doom is taking more of the splash damage and getting pushed. Here's the thing. Room 4 is still bugged. Doom's bots sometimes don't come in at all, sometimes don't come back after the special. And of course, Hela with her summons, that doesn't work right either. So Doom's a little bit of a liability, and a better choice would be Omega Red. Now, FaZe doesn't have their Omega Red quite ready for this room. He's working on it. And when Omega Red does get better, it might be a good choice in here because Omega Red's going to open up with his ultimate. And Omega Red, in my opinion, is a really good legendary, probably top 5 legendary, maybe even a top 3 legendary. He's got a fantastic kit, and I really like him a lot. He's a great character. Anyway, so we're gonna stick with this, but we're gonna change that placement. I do like the ISOs. I just don't like the placement of this room. So we're gonna go A- and swap things around on that. And then hopefully Omega Red can get in on this one and make it that much better. And in room 5, this is something that we don't see a lot of. It's a smaller team. It's something that's old, but it's working for FaZe. He's got several picks of crazy stuff happening, like Cabal losing to this team on a punch down. Like weird stuff, like things that I'm not even sure how you could lose, and it's happening. So if it's working, don't change it. It's working right now, so we're not gonna change it. Everything about this is actually really good. You have Emma in the middle who's low health. She could die easily, creating 2 islands, and we've got half of each pair on each island, right? You've got the Tangled on either side, and you've got the Eternals on either side, and there's no chains that are gonna get through after Emma dies. Her passive stays in place after death. So this is pretty cool. I think that there's not much we can do to improve this team until we want to change it all together. And right now at Gold 2, people are being fooled by this. They're either bringing in something too big and even sometimes still losing to it, or they're not understanding how it works. They're trying to mirror it with the wrong things, and they're losing the coin flip and getting blown up. And so we're going to keep this. In fact, I'm actually going to give this an A+ because it's not affecting FaZe's offensive teams. It's getting them defensive victories, and it's better than a filler defense in 5. So I think it's really good. Also, I believe the ultimates are causing blinds to happen. These characters have some good AoE kind of ultimates that are popping off right out of the gate. So I like it. I think it stays, and I think that if you have a newer, if you're in gold areas, this is something you could implement if you wanted to. All right, and finally, room number 6. This is the room I hated the most. But at the end of the day, we found out it's the best thing to do. What we're gonna do to make this better is a simple placement change with Black Knight swapping places with She-Hulk, moving him to the outside. And then I would like Red Hulk to be a Raider, and I would like Green Hulk to be a Striker. I think those are better ISOs. Not a big deal. Green Hulk makes an excellent healer because he does end up taking a lot of turns. I just don't know if this team has like the sustain that you want it to have. New Warriors is going to roll over this, even with a Black Knight in here. You just have to have a big enough, I believe it's Gwenpool. You always need a big Gwenpool. No matter what the New Warriors are doing, you always need a big Gwenpool. But I don't think that this Black Knight is going to make too much of a difference. We even considered going straight Gamma and saving Black Knight for offense. And that's a thing, but even better, and what I'd like to do, but FaZe shouldn't do this, but you might want to do this, is remove this team altogether and put Secret Defenders in 6, and then you can use the Black Knight and 4 other characters of your choosing to go into a room 4 defense for your offense, and it'll help you in room 4 to clear it out. So FaZe likes using the Secret Defenders, and it's working really well, and they're able to full clear, almost one-shotting everything every time. And so we don't really want to take that away from him. We're already pulling a Quicksilver off of his offense. So we're going to leave this in place, but we're going to swap places here. We're going to consider some ISO changes here, although they don't need to. I don't think it's really going to change it. When somebody comes in with the new Warriors, it's going to defeat this. What's happening right now is that people are seeing this Black Knight that's bigger than everybody else, and they're overcompensating it, coming in with something that they don't need to, and other times not understanding how it works and losing. But once they figure out that it's new Warriors and efficiently rolls over this, then FaZe is going to have to come up with something different. But so far, no one's figured that out in Gold 2 against his roster. So we're basically leaving this. So that's it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're not fixing this, just touching it up. We're definitely not fixing this because it's pulling off some wonderful defensive victories for FaZe. And over here, we'd like to make some adjustments, but we're not quite there yet. And if you want your defense fixed or tinkered with or found to be amazing or absolute trash, then send me those pics. You can be featured on Defense Up. Those links are in the description below. Just message me on Discord. I put you on the list, and when it's your turn, we get those pics all cropped and ready to go. And then you can come in here where other content creators join me on Voice. And if you want to be a part of that conversation, you can come find me on Twitch. There should be a link probably, yeah, right over here that you can click on to come find me on Twitch. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.